Well, here we are, Tynwald Day 2018, and you can probably see just behind me here she's being laid on the processional path. Of course, the official proceedings will be starting at 10:30. I'm joined by the Onken MHK, Rob Callister. First of all, Mr. Callister, let's get dressed properly, shall we? Top hat and tails, absolutely. Tynwald Day, your second Tynwald Day as a member of the House of Keys. It must be a very proud moment.
Absolutely. Very, very proud. Very privileged to be representing the people of the island, especially Onken, and those who can't attend today. So yeah, very, very proud.
What does it mean to you as a Manxman to be involved in the day representing the constituents of Onken and the island? Because obviously you've been here in the guise as an Onken Commissioner before, you've been here before as a member of the public, but this time as a member of the island's parliament.
It's a great privilege for myself personally, but as I say, to represent the people of Onken in this island, it never gets any better and it never gets any worse. It's a fantastic privilege and I enjoy every moment of it. I enjoyed it in 2013 when I was chairman of Onken Commissioners, but it feels even more special being a member of the House of Keys. We've had a very busy year. We're going to promulgate 14 laws today. So it's been a very busy year and we've got a lot of work to do over the next 2 or 3 years. So very, very proud.
Did you have any preconceived ideas, expectations about what the role of an MHK would be?
No, I actually went in with a blank sheet and just see how it went over the next 5 years. And as I say, it's been a fantastic experience over the last 2 years. I've learned an incredible amount of stuff and I'm continually learning as I progress in this particular fantastic role. So I've got 3 years left and I'm looking forward to see how they unfold.
We're standing here looking around us. It's a hive of activity. What would you say to any islander considering coming down here who have perhaps made their mind up yet?
If you're actually proud about the island you live on, and you want to represent the island, then come forward and stand for local election or for national election at some point in the future, because it's only when you stand you actually get to understand what a privilege this role really is, to represent the island and to put the best interest of the island forward going forward in the 5-year period.
Have a super day, you and your wife Ellen, and enjoy the occasion.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much. Kirree, of course, Mr. Callister's just touched upon some of it there. There is so much going on today. I know there's just been a stone-laying ceremony at Callister, which officially kick-started that side of proceedings. But I mean, you've got the list there. What else can islanders expect today?
Oh, there's so much going on here at Tynwald Day. There's silver bands on the front green, the Manx dancing. There's so much in the fair, the stalls, the charity stalls, Manx produce, that is my absolute favourite. But also the Manx tent, it has so much going on, the family tree, photography, and also the bun school across the road, all the different things for families to come down and do. And it just smells amazing here now, doesn't it? All the Manx produce getting cooked up, ready for the day.
You're making me hungry. Now tell me, you're a Manx girl, born and bred. You'll have been to Tynwald Day on numerous occasions, I would imagine, since you were tot. What does today? What memories does today evoke?
It's a really special day for anybody that's Manx. It's a bank holiday, but it's our national day, and it's important that we take a moment to recognise it. We come here as a family since we were really, really small, whether it's rain or shine, and it's something very special about it. The open air ceremony, it's something we get to witness and something to be very proud of, a lot of heritage and history, and it needs to be looked after.
It certainly does. As I said earlier, it's a day really where when politicians put aside political, personal differences and issues and really enjoy the pomp and pageantry of the day. I can see one man to my right who will certainly enjoy the pomp and pageantry with proud parents as well. If you come along this way, Mr. Ashford, David Ashford, North Douglas MHK, first Tynwald Day as a minister.
It is indeed, James. Quite a unique experience, very different obviously to last year, different role for me this time. But I think it's an absolutely excellent day. It's a chance for us to celebrate our democracy here in the Isle of Man, and glorious weather as well. What more could we ask for?
Why should we celebrate it today? Why is it important for the National Day to be marked in this way, with a little bit of the procedural and a little bit of the fun of the fair?
Because I think we have a very unique democracy here in the Isle of Man. We have a democracy that is very old, the oldest continuous parliament in the world. And I think also that we're closer to the people than a lot of other democracies. Not many people could actually ring up a minister, get to see them maybe next day or same week, or even get a response. Whereas here in the Isle of Man, we're a lot more responsive to people's needs, and we understand a lot more of what's going on the ground. And I think that's very important in terms of future democracy.
And what you're about, it's just 6 months in now as health, just over 6 months as Health and Social Care Minister. How have you found it?
Just come up to 7 actually,
Nearly 7,
believe it or not. It's
time flies when you're having fun.
That's what they say. I'm finding it very good. As I said when I took over as Minister, I think there's absolutely huge opportunities to do something unique here in the island in relation to health and social care. And I think we've got a real opportunity in front of us, and I want to grab it with both hands and design a Manx system that's fit for the island.
Goramayu, have a super day.
Thank you, James. Enjoy.
Thank you very much indeed. The Minister for Health and Social Care, David Ashford. Kirree, I've got to say, just looking around, you can see it is very much a day when it's fashion and finery to the fore, isn't it? You look pretty ravishing yourself, if you don't mind me saying.
Why, thank you, James. But it is a very special day, and the ladies do get dressed up for it. And the gents look very good as well. But no, it is a very proud day, so everyone gets their best outfits out. And when they're walking along from the chapel over to the hill, it's amazing how the audience will admire how people look and how they are dressed.
It is a very special day for a Manx person, but I heard from the president of Tynwald, Steve Roden, and he was saying, actually, you don't have to be Manx to enjoy this day. If you are committed to our gem of a God's earth, the Isle of Man, then that almost qualifies, really, because it's a day to celebrate all good things about where we live, what we do, what we have. And I'm sure there'll be lots of people watching worldwide today, as I say, the Manx diaspora, expats watching in on the big screen. If you're here, of course, watching in on the internet, and of course listening on the radio. There's so much going on here today. I've got to you talking about your memories of the Manx Day. I love the music, the traditional music. I was in the neighbourhood last night of Government House, and I could hear from a distance the Beat the Retreat, and I think that's always something special, and it always stands out. David Cretney has just walked past. He is the most senior member, of course, of our Tynwald. I think he was first elected in the mid-1980s, about 1985. And he's smiling and he's giving me the thumbs up there, so we've got that was a good guess. So obviously he's been in place for over 30 years now, and has seen all this before. I wonder how it's changed for him, but lots going on. If you are thinking of coming down here, do pop down, pop along. As I say, the entertainment's going on till late tonight. We've got Viking villages, Ceilidhs, retrospect band are playing. We've got the brass bands with Manx dancing, a dance academy, and that's just to name but few.
It goes on, doesn't it? But the really nice piece at the very end of the night is the lone bagpiper on top of the hill. That is a very, very special moment to end such a brilliant day here on the Isle of Man.
The Band of Her Majesty's Royal Marine Portsmouth, incidentally, is today's official band, and we will hear from them shortly, of course. An Onken Silver Band locally will be leading the parade of the various schools, cadets, scout groups, and that normally happens about 20 past 10, and we'll be handing you over to Bill Dale for that. Of course, a very special day for Bill Dale, our commentator for the official proceedings, along with Charles Gard, and I would imagine Bill will be inside quite emotional today because, of course, he's going to be the recipient of the Tynwald Honour.
It's a very, very big honour and very well deserved by Bill and his team at the Beach Buddies. They're doing a fantastic job, especially in the forefront of the world now, the plastics and the issues around the environment. He has really stepped up and took the bull by the horns and doing a fabulous job. Bull
by the horns, there's a good farmer's girl quote. I was just looking at the plaque before, actually. Norman Sale, the late Norman Sale, the artist. Nadine Crowther for her work with hospice. Jeff Caron. So many well-known names in the island community who've contributed in their own way to aspects of island life. They have been included. This isn't an award that is given every year. It's very much special in recognition of service to the Manx community, and I think Bill Dale has certainly done that. In fact, it's been a year and a half for him because, of course, he was named in the honours list as well. So a very special day for him. We'll hear from Bill a little bit in a short while time, but just starting to fill up. And if you look behind me now, actually, you can probably just see the Manx dancing on the Fairfield. We've got the World Manx tent beyond that. The Family History Society have been involved since about 8 o'clock. I don't think people appreciate how much goes into this in the not just the weeks, but the months ahead to make today what it is. And the good thing is, if you were here in 2015 now, I think it was, you're probably just have about dried out because that was awful. But on the whole, I think Noel Kringle started it off. Then Claire Christian had a pretty magic touch as well. And then this year and last year, Steve Roden, of course, they bring the weather with them, and that counts. It's a nice breeze, not too hot, but certainly we don't need to worry about the weather, do we?
We really don't. We've had a fabulous summer this year. We could actually do with a little bit of rain, possibly. But today, as long as it holds out, it's a great day of celebrations. We can enjoy being out in the sunshine, eating ice cream and just having a day off with all of our friends and family. But the fair day and the Fairfield was very important one time because livestock farmers used to come and trade their cattle and sheep on this day. So it goes back a long way in agriculture, and that's what I really appreciate.
Just very quickly, Tynwald Day, if you are watching and want to share one of your memories with us or your special time, what it meant for you, whether you're an expat, a former island resident, or I've got David Cretney here, we're going to speak to him in a minute. If you've got a message, days gone by, or a message you want to relay to someone, please do not forget, watching family and friends here on the big screen, if you want to pass on best wishes to them, don't forget to let us know. The email address I'm just looking at here, inquiries@tynwald.org.im. Just to repeat that one, inquiries@tynwald.org.im. So let us know your views and we'll try and get a few of those messages read out a little bit later on. David Cretney was first elected to South Douglas, I think it was 1985. He's nodding here, which is a good sign. He was returned successfully on every occasion, and then in 2015 was elected to the Legislative Council of the Upper House. So by my recollections, that's about 33, 34 Tynwalds now, 33.
This is the 33rd day.
Yeah. How does that make you feel? Does today still fill you with the same sense of pride that the very first one did?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I come from a very humble, ordinary background, so to take part in a ceremony which has been going on for well over 1,000 years now is a real honour.
Has the format, I think the format of the processional, the official proceedings has remained largely unchanged, but how is the rest of the day? Has it altered much during that time?
Well, it used to be that I would be down here on the Fairfield rather than walking to the hill. Obviously, I used to have a shop, and so that's where we started off. And in fact, I was here even earlier. We used to come as a scout, and we would parade and be on the guard of honour for people going up the hill. So I've been here 33 times as a Tynwald member, but more times separately.
What does it mean for your family today?
Well, my family is over there on the Fairfield. I've just been to see them. The Manx Labour Party has a stand. We celebrate the 70th birthday today of the National Health Service, which obviously the Labour Party in the UK was instrumental in establishing. We've got a stall over there, welcome people to come and help celebrate with us, and also obviously it's the 100th birthday of the Manx Labour Party this year, so we're celebrating that as well.
A number of milestones. Just turn to the camera, let them see you're
right.
born in the NHS, 70th anniversary, so lots going on. Have a very special day.
Thank you very much.
Nice
to see you again.
Yeah, thank you, David Cretney, MLC, member of the Legislative Council, and before that, of course, the South Douglas MHK for 30 years. So starting to fill up fast. There's a lovely buzz in the air, isn't there?
There really is. It's a great atmosphere, and there's lots of people coming around now, and children are starting to get up and dance, and it's just a brilliant day, isn't it, James? What's your memories from years gone by? Have you always came to the fair?
My memories, well, my granddad used to be a member of the House of Keys in Ramsey, so but that was when I was sort of very small. But I actually didn't probably come along till I was a teenager, so obviously that was about 3 years ago. And no, a bit slow there. So used to come and watch, and then in more recent years with Manx Radio. So no, it's a very special occasion. I think it means something different to everybody, but it's a special occasion to celebrate being Manx and part of the Manx community. So it's a very special indeed.
But it's not just the Fairfield, there's lots going around the island as well. There's so much to do. They're opening gardens at Bishop's Court. The Arboretum here is open with the Global Food Village. There's just so much to do. You don't have to be in the busy part of the Tynwald Fairfield. You can, celebrate in your own way, at home or anywhere around the world.
And if you want to get away from it completely, let me endorse the credentials of the famous, I'm told it's famous, Crunkavody Sports Day. That has become an annual Tynwald Day tradition for many years. That's all getting going at lunchtime just a bit further west in Crunkavody. And even the dog racing's back. So if you fancy something a little bit different, may I endorse the credentials of the Crunkavody Sports Day. But plenty going on here, and the official proceedings probably around 15 minutes away now. Well, the entertainment has started. We've got the traditional Manx dancers behind us here. As is traditional, there is a soloist during the service. It is the Cleveland Medal winner, Paul Kistane. He has won the Cleveland Medal actually for the last three occasions actually at the Manx Music Festival. Paul Kistane from Colby, and at the request of the president of Tynwald, Steve Roden, he will be singing The Old Rugged Cross, words and music by George Bernard, and he'll be accompanied by Derek Crellin today. Of course, one man is leading the troops particularly this morning, and that is the Chief Minister.
Chief Minister. Howard? How has your Tynwald morning been so far?
Nice and cool. I mean, I like the sunshine, but these clouds are absolutely gorgeous. When you're follically challenged, you have to think of these things. So sunshine not beaming direct down is a bonus for me, personally.
It really is. But what a lovely day. The rushes on the path from the chapel to the hill have a significant fact in the whole of the Manx Tynwald Day. And I believe as we speak, I'm going to have to take this off. Oh, my word, the wind. Manannan's cloak is actually coming over the hill just behind us here. Now, it's believed that these rushes are significant to him.
It is indeed, and I think it's fantastic that we follow the tradition. I know the ladies have to be careful when they're walking along if they have a certain type of shoe. I've seen the rushes get in the shoes, but it's a nice tradition to follow.
It really, it's a lovely, lovely place here today. The children are out in force. The Manx dancers are here. How does it feel emotionally for you?
Well, this is my second as Chief Minister, but it's a special day. I mean, we're commemorating 100 years since the ending of World War I, and obviously World War II was fought to give us freedom. People died, millions of people died to give us the right to do what we're doing today, and we should never forget that. So it's our national day. We're promulgating our laws. There's 14 acts to promulgate, and obviously there'll be petitions from members of the public. So A, it's really important, but B, we should celebrate our unique Manxness, and I consider your Manx, if you embrace the Isle of Man, if you accept the Isle of Man as your home and you try not to change it but add to it, then you're as Manx as anyone who's lived here for hundreds of years.
And will you get a chance to have a look around the Fairfield later on?
I try to have a quick wander, cup of tea over in the chapel hall, which is always very welcome, and the volunteers do a fantastic job there. Yes, and then a quick wander around the hall, and I'll be back tonight. Obviously, there's over in the far end, there's a marquee there, and there'll be dancing and Manx food on display, and then it'll be finishing off with pipers playing Ellen Vannon on the hill. And what a fantastic event. It
really is a very special day for everybody here on the Isle of Man, something to be very proud of.
It is indeed. Thank you. I'll see you later. My family's over there.
Have a super day, Chief Minister. Chief Minister, of course, was speaking earlier in the week about the guests and the fact that at a time like now in our current culture, we need all the allies and the contacts we get, and I think that's reflected in the guest list today. We have guests from the British Irish Parliamentary Assembly. We've got a political officer from the US Embassy. We have a naval regional commander. We've got the Ministry of Justice spokesperson for the House of Lords, and many of these contacts, of course, have been forged through the likes of the British Irish Council, the Parliamentary Assembly, gatherings which have become increasingly important for the island, and those links really can't be underestimated in an hour of need. So a rich assortment of guests here today. I can tell you that there's also two of the captains of the parish are presented to His Excellency the Lieutenant Governor. This is a new initiative which was introduced within the last decade or so in this capacity. A lot of the Commissioners' chairmen, of course, sit on the Hill, but the two captains of the parish to be presented to His Excellency this year are Patricia Kistane, who's the captain of the parish of Patrick, and John Farragher. He's the captain of the parish of Lonnan, and he's actually been in post since 1995. So a special day for both Mrs. Kistane and Mr. Farragher. We are about 10 minutes away now from the official handover to Bill and Charles, because it's a very important day for Bill. As I say, he's going to receive the Tynwald honour, and also Charles, his co-commentator. And it's on occasions like this that we remember Ian Cannell as well, because Ian Cannell passed away just before Tynwald Day last year, and Ian was very much at the forefront of the Tynwald Day commentary for many years, and we remember him on days like today. I don't know about you, Kirree, but I think there's something a little bit peculiar when I was speaking to somebody earlier in the week, and they said, well, we'll see you at work on Thursday, and I said, no, you won't. No, you won't. I think that there's certain people who come from across firms, perhaps they don't really probably appreciate, and I mean this most respectfully, the true meaning of today and what it means to the island.
It really is. It's a very special day, a bank holiday for many Manx people, but it is a day that people will take off. We find in agriculture in particular, lots of farming people will come here today, and they might not have caught up with some of these families since last year. So it is a very important day that you have it off and go and enjoy it. And everything, the festivities that people put on around the Isle of Man are second to none, and they really need to be enjoyed.
I didn't think farmers ever had a day off.
Well, this morning was quite hectic, but we're still here.
Still here, we are indeed. Steve Roden, the president of Tynwald, this is his second Tynwald as president from when he took over from Clay Christian, and he was saying to me that Tynwald members really are like birds of passage. They come and they go, but the traditions stay the same. And that is very much the case. There's a number of new faces. The island's Lord Bishop, for example, it is his first Tynwald Day officially today. And of course, we have 4 new members of the Legislative Council in Tanya August Hanson, Kate Lord Brennan, Marlene Hendy, and I was going to say Kate Lord Brennan, because Jane Poole Wilson, of course, was here last year. But it's a special day for all of them, because this is their first official Tynwald Day since they were elected in March. We've got, it isn't an issue whether we have men or women in Parliament, because equal footing. But tell me, it means a lot to a lot of people that there's perhaps a bit more of a balance now. Is that something that's ever bothered you?
No, absolutely not. If you're good at what you do, it doesn't matter what you are, male, female, indifferent, whatever it is. As long as you give 110% of whatever you do, you can achieve, and people will respect that, surely.
I'm sure they will. We've been speaking to the Lieutenant Governor, we've been speaking to the Chief Minister, and also Roger Phillips. I saw him a few moments ago. Of course, he's the Clerk of Tynwald, and as I said earlier, a lot of the backup that goes into today starts many months in advance. There was the Beat the Retreat last night. There's the guests, many of them arrived on Tuesday actually. They had an official tour of Tynwald yesterday, and of course closer to home there was the Tynwald Garden Party for many dignitaries and invited guests as well on Sunday. So it really is, today is the pinnacle, but it's a whole Manx National Week, and I think that's reflected in events all around the island.
That's right, especially with the Flower Festival as well. At the moment you can go and visit all the chapels and churches around. The people of their villages have done a fabulous job displaying such gorgeous flowers, and especially with such heat as well, to keep them right for everyone to view for a week. It's been a bit of a mean undertaking, I imagine, but to see the children practicing their steps and their musical instruments here on the green throughout the week running up to today, it's just something really special.
Dare I say, bloomin' marvellous.
Bloomin'
Marvellous. The wind's picked up a little bit.
It really has.
Some women are having problems with their hair.
Very big problems with their hair. But anyway, the day must go on.
And that was the fascinator you wore for the royal wedding in May, is that right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But that is another story.